एक ही माइक है आपके पास?
नहीं मेरे पास वायरलेस भी है पर अभी जो हाँ है मेरे पास है वो वायरलेस भी अभी सेट करता हूँ पहले
मेरे से मत करवाया कर।
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Oh Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Rama Oh Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna
मेरे पास भी ऐसी है मैं अभी
हरि बोल Hare Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Rama Hare Rama Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Bolo bolo, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Haribo. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Govinda Jai Jai Gopal Jai Jai Govinda Jai
Jai Gopal Jai Jai
Govinda Jai Jai Gopal Jai Jai Govinda Jai Govinda Jai Jai Gopal Jai Jai Govinda Jai Jai Radha Raman Hari Govinda Jai Jai Radha Raman Hari Radha Raman Hari Govinda Jai Jai Govinda Jai Jai Gopal Jai Jai Govinda Jai Jai Govinda Jai Jai Gopal Jai Jai Govinda Radha Raman Hari Govinda Jai Jai Radha Raman Hari Jai Satinandana Jai Satinandana Jai Satinandana Jai Satinandana Gaura Hari Bolo Jai Satinandana Gaura Hari Jayo Jagannatha Jayo Jagannatha Baladeva Jayo Subhadra Jayo Jagannatha Jayo Gauranitai Jayo Gauranitai Gauranitai Jayo Gauranitai Jayo Gauranitai Jayo Radha Madan Mohan Radha Madan Mohan Radha Jayo Radha Madan Mohan Radha Madan Mohan Radha Jayo Prabhupada Jayo Prabhupada Prabhupada Jayo Prabhupada Jaya Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Go right, go. Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Hare Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Follow everybody. Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Go! Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Oh Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Bolo. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare Bolo Hari Bol Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Hari Bol Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Gauranga. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Bolo. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Bolo. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Oh! Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Satinandana Gaura Hare. Gora, Gora, Gora Hare, Gora Hari, Gora Hari. Nitai, 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 Gauranga. Nitai, 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 Gauranga. Jai Satinandana Gaura Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Ram, Hare Hare. Whoa. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare go. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Bolo, bolo. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Bolo. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Everybody sing Hare Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
just wanted to make a quick announcement. We have an arrangement for kids who are younger than 13 outside. So there is Amrita Gaurangi Devidasi and Madhavi Dasi, green sari and pink sari. So if you want to send your kids with us, we have some games, nice stories, everything planned, and we will bring the kids. So we will register them that we are taking them just in this facility next to us, and we will bring them back right when the program is finished. So all the adults can hear without any distractions. So if you do want to send them, please register the kids here and we'll bring them back. Hare Krishna.
Bhajo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta-vrinda Bhajo Shri Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Means congregational chanting. We're not here to entertain you. We're here to engage in the chanting of the holy name. Guru Maharaj will be coming shortly, so in the meantime we'll be chanting for a few more minutes. Okay? Special announcement here.
Hare Krishna, we just have one quick announcement again for kids who are younger than 13. We have a special arrangement for you outside with
Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Bolo, bolo. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
So first, we'd like to welcome everyone this evening for this very special program here in Atlanta. Realistically speaking, it's the culmination of many, many years of developing this community. And we're very fortunate that His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj has been an integral part of developing our expanding Atlanta community. I remember when he first started coming some years ago, there were not so many people like this. And Janardhan Maharaj was saying that in their travels around the world, Atlanta is one of the favorite places to come. Hari! Now before you get too excited, his travels are extensive. Actually, I took a few notes, but I'm going to put them aside. Because there's so many places, Africa, Russia, Atlanta, all over the USA, all over the world, Maharaj is traveling. But I have to share with you my personal appreciation for His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj. Some of you have heard me explain this before, but there's so many new people I wanted to share this with you. Because in Krishna consciousness, there's something that's so important. Last night, Janardana Maharaj was saying a little bit about this, but in Bhagavad Gita chapter 3, text 21, Yat Yat Acharati Srestha. It talks about the importance of setting the proper example. And Maharaj, being a disciple of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, founder, Acharya of ISKCON, he's been setting this example for many, many years. But I have one special pastime with him. And I don't like to embarrass him, but I have to do it. Because it's so important in terms of setting the example. Our duty is to set the example for the entire world, the importance of Krishna consciousness. If we don't show it in our personal lives, people will not follow what we say. We can say so many things, but we have to actually set the example. So I believe it was 1990, the last time I went to India, almost 30 years ago. We arrived in Vrindavan, and we were staying at the Fogel Ashram. Many of you who traveled there, you might know this place. It's like a very kind of simple accommodations. So we got there a little bit early, and Maharaj was there, and he noticed that our rooms were not clean. I've stayed at Fogel Ashram many times. This time the rooms were not clean. And Maharaj was so concerned for the comfort of the devotees, and I'm not exaggerating, he personally went into the room and started to clean. I was totally just, not to say shocked, but I was moved by his sincerity and his devotion to the devotees. So I can understand why this room is filled up with so many devotees, because I think you're feeling the love that Maharaj has been showing to Atlanta. He's been coming for many years, and very special thanks to Mother Gita and Gita Govinda, because they began originally cultivating this community. And now there are many disciples and many followers here in Atlanta, thanks to the efforts of these devotees and to the commitment and consistency of Maharaj coming here. He has so many other responsibilities, but every year, like clockwork, we can count on him being here just after Panihati. So I just want to personally thank him for his dedication to this community, and we pray that he continues to come, continues to inspire us. He's been my guide for many years. I consider him like one of my Siksha gurus, giving so much instruction. And Atlanta would not be the same without his presence. Do you all agree? That was very, very weak. Big Haribol! Let's give an Atlanta Alpharetta coming, Peachtree City. Welcome to Maharaj. Haribol! 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 So we welcome His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj. Oh, I just heard that we're watching a 10-minute clip on the wall, so everyone turn your attention here. Hare Krishna.
Is there some technical difficulties? Shyambari Prabhu, should we wait or should we start with the bhajan? Start? Okay.
instruction. So, I understand that all of you are connected to ISKCON, am I right? Srila Prabhupada, as you know, the founder acharya of this movement. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had predicted the holy name would be chanted in every town and village of the world. And our acharyas endeavored to make that come true. In a few days, we're going to celebrate the disappearance day of a great acharya, Thakur Bhaktivinoda. Thakur Bhaktivinoda had a strong desire to fulfill Lord Chaitanya's prediction. And in 1896, the year that Prabhupada appeared, he sent his book on the life of Lord Chaitanya to the Western world. And Prabhupada's father was a pious man. Prabhupada said, he was not a very rich man, middle class, but a great devotee of the Lord. He would regularly host sadhus, and when they would come, he would look after them. And then when they would be leaving, they would say, "Thank you. Is there anything we can do for you?" And Prabhupada's father, Gurmonde, would say, "Bless my son, that he becomes a great devotee of Radharani." And in a young age, he gave Prabhupada required education in Sanskrit, Mridanga. And it was in 1922 that Prabhupada met his spiritual master, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Prabhupada had a friend who was very impressed by Bhaktisiddhanta Ji. So this friend told Prabhupada, "There's a very special sadhu here. I want you to meet him." And Prabhupada initially said, "I have met many sadhus. I'm not impressed by them. I don't want to meet him." But he persisted. And in the very first meeting, Bhaktisiddhanta Ji could see, here is a young man who can fulfill Lord Chaitanya's prediction. And Bhaktisiddhanta Ji told Prabhupada, "You are an educated young man. Why don't you take these teachings to the Western world?" Prabhupada at that time was active in Mahatma Gandhi's freedom movement. Prabhupada said, "First let us make the country independent." And Bhaktisiddhanta Ji responded, "Real independence is freedom from the cycle of birth and death." So Prabhupada meditated on this, and in 1965, he traveled to America on a cargo ship. Cargo ship, as you know, is primarily used to transport cargo. And on the journey to America, he had 2 heart attacks. Not major, fortunately. And Prabhupada was thinking, my mission will not be successful. But then he had subsequently a dream in which the Supreme Lord was rowing the boat, and Prabhupada was a passenger in the boat. And the Supreme Lord said, "Away, don't worry, your movement will be successful, your attempt will be successful." And in 1965, when Prabhupada's ship came from Boston to New York, Prabhupada booked his trip back to India on the same day, 3 months later. So Prabhupada endeavored and gave us a pure message of the Vedas. In 1965, he arrived in New York. When he was in Boston, he saw the environment and he said, who is going to listen to this pure ancient message? But then he said, by Radharani's mercy, the impossible can become possible. So Prabhupada had great faith the Lord Chaitanya's movement will come true. One day, Prabhupada was sitting on a bench in New York with a bus conductor whose name was Mr. Reuben. So as they were talking, Reuben inquired, Swamiji, what's your occupation? Prabhupada said, I'm a preacher. The temples are there. The devotees are there. But it is only time that is separating us. So Prabhupada endeavored in 1966, the first ISKCON temple was established in New York. Many people advised Prabhupada not to be so strict in presenting the original philosophy. They were suggesting that Prabhupada should not preach these strict rules and so on. But Prabhupada refused to cooperate, compromise. He gave us the truth. And he translated these books. He translated nearly 90 books in the English language. And some of you may know, about 4 months ago, it's going to publish the biggest religious text in the whole world. How many of you have seen that video? Yeah. Okay. So Prabhupada had full faith in Lord Chaitanya's teachings. And today, the Hare Krishna mantra is being chanted in every corner of the globe. You go to Africa, go to Russia, go to India, America, everywhere you'll find devotees chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. Prabhupada gave us a pure philosophy. When he presented the Bhagavad Gita, he called it Bhagavad Gita as it is. So devotees would ask, why is it as it is? And Prabhupada explained. He has presented the Bhagavad Gita as it is, without any distortion. So, Krishna consciousness is very authorized, and the philosophy presented is coming down to the disciplic succession. I was explaining in the class today, Prabhupada once asked in Australia by a reporter, if your Krishna consciousness is so perfect, why is the hall fully packed? And Prabhupada said, when you're selling diamonds, only few will buy. But when you're selling something imitation, you get thousands to buy. So Prabhupada has presented the pure message as it is. And those who are fortunate to come in contact with Prabhupada's movement get exposed to the real thing, the real mystery. The Bhagavad Gita summarizes the entire Bhagavad Gita, the entire Vedic literature. The word Veda means knowledge. There are two types of knowledge, material knowledge and spiritual knowledge. Material knowledge is available in almost every corner. Every corner you find some educational institution. What's the difference between the two? Material knowledge aims to facilitate sense enjoyment. Material knowledge aims to facilitate our association with the senses. It creates illusion What does illusion mean? It says something false to be real. It makes you believe you can get real happiness through material activity. And material knowledge is misleading. Then in comparison, you have spiritual knowledge. And our spiritual grandfather used to say, if at all there's a shortage of anything, it is spiritual knowledge. What does spiritual knowledge tell us? It tells you how to find real happiness. It tells you who you are, what is the goal of human life. Spiritual knowledge teaches you that you're eternal and this body is perishable. So spiritual knowledge is a must if you want to succeed spiritually. These days you have so many big universities around the world, so many departments, but they hardly have any department that tells you what happens after death. So there's a great shortage of spiritual knowledge. Prahlad Maharaj, a great sage, emphasized that spiritual knowledge should be cultivated from the age of 5. These days you see that children get exposed to computer education from what age? 2, 3? We have a state-of-the-art school in Bombay, and in our school, the toddlers, they get exposed to computer education. Why? Because in society they feel this is essential. But we don't give them any spiritual education. As a result, people grow up with degrees, but no character, no character, no credibility. Short while ago we heard Gita saying, whatever great men do, others will follow. So we see our leaders, they are not following any genuine path. There is lack of spirituality. And as a result, we see the whole society all over the world in a confused state. So we need to understand this Vedic knowledge. Bhagavad Gita is not a sectarian book. It's not Hindu philosophy. It's not a book that's only meant for Hindus. It's a book meant for entire humanity. And what does Bhagavad Gita say? Gives you the message of peace. Today, if you analyze in society, or if you talk to any doctor, he will tell you that the stress levels in society are very high. Is that true or false? True. Someone will say, oh, in America, everyone's smiling. But behind the smile, there is stress. There is tension, depression. Is that true?
Yes.
Why do people suffer from depression? They have unlimited wants, unlimited desires, unlimited goals. We always hope the next activity will give you pleasure. But in the end, there is no pleasure. We are greedy. We see all over the world. The rich are getting richer. Did you realize that? The rich are getting richer. About 10% of the people hold more than 80% of the wealth. So the rich are getting richer. Why? Because more. In the Bhagavatam 8th canto, you read the story of the Lord incarnating as Vamandev. Vamandev appeared in a sacrificial arena of Bali Maharaj. was the emperor. And Bali Maharaj received him very warmly. He said, "We are so fortunate that you've come to purify us. Is there anything I can do for you?" Normally when you meet a sage, saintly person, you ask, what a hungry man can be satisfied when? When you give him food to eat. A thirsty man can be satisfied when you give him water to drink. An angry man can be satisfied when he shouts at you. You're angry at someone, you speak few harsh words, the person doesn't retaliate, he remains satisfied. But he said, a greedy man, even if you give him the wealth of the whole world, he will not be satisfied. So, by and large, in society, people are greedy. They want more, more, more. And when they can't realize it, they get depressed. So Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Dukhalaya Mashashatam. There's nothing but misery, and everything is temporary. So it doesn't matter where you go, material nature strikes. Just like I was reading the other day that they're predicting that the forest fires in America will be in excess this year as compared to previous years. So there, these sevenfold miseries don't spare anyone. The Bhagavad Gita touches on many important issues. For example, Gita first establishes who is God. We should know who is God. Prabhupada once giving a lecture in New York, he said, we are not worshipping some imaginary God. We are worshipping the real God. So Bhagavad Gita establishes who is the real God. Ishvara Parama Krishna, Satchidananda, Anadi Radha Govinda. There are many controllers. Ishvara means controller. But there is only one supreme controller. And it is said, if you water the root of the tree, you water all the branches also. Similarly, if you worship Krishna, you worship or discharge your responsibilities with all the demigods, etc. Then the Bhagavad Gita discusses the nature of the soul in the body. Due to ignorance, we don't understand the nature of the soul. Most people in society believe everything ends with death. Is that true? Nobody think that way. The Bhagavad Gita says, no, just like you're covering your body with clothes, the soul is covered by the body. And this body doesn't matter whether you're a millionaire or a pauper, goes through 6 stages of development, where the body takes birth. Then it grows, maintains itself, produces byproducts, dwindles, and finally vanishes. It doesn't matter whether you're a resident in America or India, you can't avoid that. Once Prabhupada was giving a press conference in America. This was in the early days of our movement. At that time, the American economy was at its prime, and India was on the bottom at that time, around 1968. So one American reporter came up to Prabhupada and said, Swamiji, you come from a third world country. We are the richest country on the planet. What are you going to teach us? So Prabhupada said, I may be from a poor country, and you may be from a rich country. One thing is common to both of us. So the man was very curious. What could be common between rich America and poverty-stricken India? So he said, what's common between the two? Prabhupada said, the death rate in both the countries is 100%. The man had no answer. So, Bhagavad Gita explains the nature of the soul. Never takes birth and never dies. Just transmigrates from one body to another. This is spiritual education. And if you just have material education, and no education to tell you the nature of the soul, then education is incomplete. The education becomes complete once you add spirituality. Prabhupada used to say, 1 0 plus 1 0 plus 100 zeros equals to? 0. Sure. But if you add the figure 1, then it becomes meaningful. 10, 100. So we need to add spirituality as an essential subject. And spirituality is incomplete unless you understand the nature of the soul. Now someone may say, and a lot of people do say, you people believe in reincarnation, you believe in the soul, but what's the proof that there's soul in the body? So what's the proof? What's the proof? Consciousness. As long as there's soul in the body, there is consciousness. When the soul leaves the body, then there is no consciousness. So, the soul is there, and the Vedas also give you information on the measurement of the soul. 1/10,000 the tip of your hair. It's not 1/10,000 the length of your hair. If it was 1/10,000 the length of the hair, the ladies would have bigger souls than the men. And the yogis would have even bigger than the ladies. It's 1/10,000 the tip of your hair. And Krishna says, just like we discard our old clothes and wear new clothes, the soul leaves one body and takes on another body. So Prabhupada brought up these points and said, who says Bhagavad Gita is sectarian? Who says Bhagavad Gita is only for Hindus? Bhagavad Gita is for entire humanity. Because it doesn't matter what your background is, there is a soul in the body. So this is a very important element. Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, the second chapter of the Gita is the most important of all. Now, once you accept this knowledge of the soul, then you understand we're all eternal. We're just transmigrating from one body to another body. And a question may be raised, what type of body will I get? Is that a natural question?
Yes.
If the soul is eternal, if the soul is transmigrating, do I have my pick? I want to be born in Bill Gates' family. I don't want to be born in a billionaire's family. Do we have that choice? That's going to be determined by our action. Now, there are many people in society who believe this philosophy of reincarnation is just imaginary. What's the proof of what we are doing? Do we have any proof? This question was raised by Devahuti to her son Kapila. Devahuti is the mother of the Lord. And Kapila Dev is one of the incarnations. He said, my dear son, please tell me, who is witnessing all our actions? Is there a witness? Because unless there is a witness, unless there is testimony, you don't get convicted. Is that true? Any lawyer will tell you. You can only hold a man guilty if you have proof and witness. So the question is, the Vedas talk about the eternal nature of the soul. But who is witnessing all this? Is there any witness? Yes? No? Yes. Who? Paramatma is only one of the witnesses. There are many. The sun god, the moon god, the stars, the rain god, air god, and in Paramatma. All of them witness. Now in today's technology world, this may not be able to comprehend. It may not be difficult. For example, whoever thought a day would come when you will be able to have all of Prabhupada's books packed up in a small telephone. Did any of you ever think of that? Prabhupada, 90 books are in your pocket. Today, almost every driver, even in India, I'm surprised, use GPS, and they want to know. You were coming here, they program how long will it take. So, how does this technology work? Through the satellite, isn't it? The satellites are able to watch. If we can have satellite with cameras, we can watch it from such a distance. Why is it difficult for the sun and the moon, the two eyes of God, to witness everything? You go to an X-ray machine, you can get an MRI done and see internal parts of your body. So if that can be done by the material situation, why is it difficult or impossible to record all our activities? We have these computer chips, size of the nail you cut and throw, that can store unlimited stuff. You have these smartphones that can keep Prabhupada's books, you can have a video, you can have a tape recorder, and whatnot. So if this is possible with material technology, why is it impossible with spiritual technology to witness everything? So every action that we perform is being witnessed by many witnesses, and it's being recorded in our material society. You get this data hacked, and many times you get a virus and everything collapses. But Yamraj, you know who Yamraj is? Good friend of ours. What's that? Yamraj keeps a track on all our activities. So Yamraj's computer never gets a virus. So all our actions are being recorded. And Karmana Deva, Nesena, Jantu Deva Papate. All our actions are being witnessed by several entities, and they determine whatever body we're going to get. So this is important. Then the Bhagavad Gita discusses the nature of time. What does time do? Time destroys everything. Is that true? You have a beautiful body today. You just got crowned Miss India, Miss World. But is that body going to remain beautiful? You have a very well-built body. They're going to remain like that? No. But we unfortunately don't realize the importance of time. Once there was a lawyer who was about to die. The lawyer addressed Yamaraj. Yamaraj, you can't take me so fast. First give me some notices that death is coming. So because that's how lawyers work. If we don't know this within 2 weeks, we're going to proceed with this action. So the lawyer was telling Yamaraj, you can't take me now, give me a notice first. Yamaraj said, how many teeth do you have now? He said, oh, they're all gone. How many did you have 20 years ago? He said, all. How strong are your legs? Oh, can't even walk. I have to use a wheelchair. How strong was your legs 40 years ago? I was part of the Youth Olympic team. How good is your eyesight now? I'm virtually blind. How good was your eyesight 40 years ago? As sharp as an eagle. Eagle has very sharp eye. Yamaraj said, your hair started falling, your hair started turning gray, you started becoming bald like a Hare Krishna. Your legs began to get weak. And you said, I didn't give you any warning. I gave you so many warnings, but you ignored them. So we are constantly getting warnings. Time destroys everything. You buy a new car, time will make sure it doesn't look new. You have wrinkles on your cheeks, time will, you don't have wrinkles, time will make sure you'll get it covered. You know, in the medical profession, which doctors make the most money? Cosmetic surgeons. Because everybody wants to look young. So you have these anti-aging shops. Have you ever been to an anti-aging shop? No?
So far not.
And even if you have, you won't tell us. People want to keep this a secret. So we're not going to push you. So, but generally, what does an anti-aging shop contain? Paraphernalia to make you look young. But even if you use that, how long can you cover up? Not very long. The time destroys everything. Chennai Pandit says, a minute lost cannot be made up with the wealth of the entire world. You lose valuable time. Unfortunately, we don't value time. That's right on the bottom. If you want to buy something and you can save $10 by going to another mall, you won't mind. We want to save $10. But time, no value. The Bhagavatam says, with the rising and setting of the sun, the duration of life of everyone, but one who uses it in service to the Lord is being reduced. Every day when you get up, do you realize, I have 1 day less left? Does anyone think like that? Tell me honestly. You only do that if you have spiritual education. So time destroys everything. Therefore, time is also discussed in the Bhagavad Gita. Time is of the essence. Time destroys everything. The time should not be wasted. A minute lost cannot be made up with the wealth of the eternal world. Then the Bhagavad Gita discusses material nature. Maya dakshena prakriti svete sachara. This material world is working under my direction of material nature. What does material nature do? Punishes us in various ways. I was just mentioning forest fire. Then you have floods, hurricanes, drought. Misery is caused by the mind, etc. So, Bhagavad Gita teaches us perform action but in a detached mood. Arjuna did not want to take part in the battle. On the one hand, he was being induced, take part in this battle, for the Pandava brothers were entitled to their kingdom, which they were being deprived of. And these brothers were so renounced and detached that as a final compromise they said, okay, take the whole kingdom, but just give us 5 villages to administer. After all, we have Kshatriya blood in us. But then when that was refused, there was ultimately no choice. So Arjuna was confused what to do, what not to do. In the 2nd chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna says, now I'm confused about my duty. Please instruct me. I'm sure we all get confused from time to time. And Krishna began to speak the philosophy. In the 18th chapter, Krishna said, is your illusion now gone? Have you heard this knowledge with an attentive mind? And Arjuna said, yes, my illusion is now gone. Now I'm ready to act as directed by you. So we should all be taking guidance from the Bhagavad Gita. In the Bhagavad Gita you see questions and answers. Arjuna actually was an eternal companion of the Lord. There's no question of an eternal companion getting bewildered. But Krishna put Arjuna in that situation. So the Bhagavad Gita could be spoken for the benefit of whom? Humanity, especially people residing in Atlanta. So Krishna put them, Arjuna, in that condition. So Bhagavad Gita could be spoken for our benefit. So Bhagavad Gita is a book of knowledge. It's not a religious book. And we should study the Bhagavad Gita systematically. Bhagavad Gita doesn't preach inaction. Sometimes people say, if I read the Gita, then I will lose interest in my job. No. Krishna says, whatever you do it as an offering unto me. Yad karoshi, yad jahosi tadasya. Yad tapasosi konteya, yad karishwa. Whatever you do, whatever charity you do, whatever work you do it as an offering unto me. Just like in a material condition, if you pay all your taxes, etc., then you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about being raided. If you're not, then you're always in anxiety. So Krishna similarly is telling us, offer the results to me. Karmana evadikaraste, mahapadeshu. Offer the results to me. That means work for me. You may be a businessman, maybe a housewife, maybe a student. But the purpose of your effort should be please Krishna. And how do you get this knowledge? By taking help from qualified answers. So this Krishna conscious woman is teaching people this real knowledge. This real knowledge is contained in the Bhagavad Gita. The Bhagavad Gita answers all our questions. You may have a question of any type. Gita gives the answer. And the Gita preaches action, and action in the mood of detachment. In the Gita, Krishna says, just like a lotus leaf is in water when it doesn't touch the water. So Bhagavad Gita preaches us the message of peace. Why are there so many wars today? Why is there so much tension? Because for the what? We're all greedy. we all want more, 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 more. Is that right? Is anyone ever content? No, he's not content. That is because you lack spiritual knowledge. If you have an itching sensation and you scratch on your skin, instantly you'll get some relief. But then what happens? The disease becomes worse. So similarly, we follow the materialistic path, then we may feel instantly some relief, then our disease gets deeper. In the Bhagavatam, there is an example given as follows. The moth, for example, is very attracted to satisfying its eyes. So the moth, when it sees a light being turned off in the night, it goes and sits on that light. Because it enjoys seeing light, the eye. And what happens when it goes near the light? It gets burnt and he dies. The fish, what does the cunning fisherman do? He hooks on something to eat. The fish sees the bait, goes to eat, and it gets trapped. The deer is an animal very hard to capture. When the hunter wants to capture the deer, he plays a particular melody. The deer stops to run, tries to trace out where the melody is coming from. And when he stops, what does the hunter do? Shoot him. And then you have the bee. Goes and sits in lotus flower, thinks that I'm in samadhi. And when the lotus flower closes in the evening, what happens? It gets stabbed to death. The he-elephant is hard to capture. So they dig a hole, cover it with grass, and the he-elephant is made to follow the she-elephant. And in that process, he falls in the ditch and he gets captured. Now these are examples from the Bhagavatam. These are not made by us. And the Bhagavatam uses these examples to show how these animals, in trying to satisfy one of their senses, meet their end. But what's the bigger problem with us? With these animals, it's just one of the senses. With us, we want to satisfy all of them at the same time. The eyes, you want to see something beautiful. The ears, you want to hear something palatable. So how risky it is. So Bhagavad Gita teaches us the path of devotion. Path of devotion doesn't mean you give up everything, ring the bell, and do puja all day. No. The path of devotion means whatever your abilities are, whatever your skills are, you use it to serve the Lord. And by doing this, we get purified. Lord Chaitanya was traveling in southern India. How many of you in the audience are from southern India? Okay. So he was traveling in southern India. When Lord Chaitanya was traveling, he converted everyone to the path of Vaishnava. So there was a Brahmin Kurma. He was a married man with wife and children. He told the Lord, I want to travel with you. I'm tired of staying at home. The Lord said, you don't have to travel with me. Stay where you are, share the holy name, and praise the glories of the holy name. And read the Gita, and preach the message of the Gita. This way, you'll always be peaceful and united with me. So this conclusion is something that is for entire humanity. I understand that almost all of you sitting in the audience are practicing to some degree. Am I right? Yeah. So you are very fortunate in that you got connected to the ISKCON movement. Well, Prabhupada gave us the most essential philosophy, unadulterated, and did not compromise. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained to Rupa Goswami, Brahmanda Brahmide Koro Bhagavano Ji, Guru Krishna Givapai. I'm going through many, many births and deaths. He, the fortunate soul, who receives knowledge. What knowledge? The devotion to God is the goal of life. But just receiving the knowledge and not doing further is not enough. If you go, you're sick, doctor tells you, okay, shows you the medicine bottle, but you don't consume the medicine. Are you going to recover? No. So just having knowledge is not enough. Having realized through the scriptures the importance of this knowledge, we need to water the seed. Just like you may plant a beautiful seed, but unless you water it, it's not going to grow. So that watering process is chanting and hearing. Whether you go to a temple in Atlanta or New York or London or Moscow, the message is the same. And in this age, chanting the holy names of the Lord is the most sublime and easy process of being happy. We are all looking for happiness. Is that true or false? True. Can money buy everything? What can money can't buy?
Happiness, peace.
Ah, good. Peace of mind. Money can buy everything but peace of mind. But if you want that peace of mind, without paying any dollars or rupees, take the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra. This chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra is not something local. It's coming from where? Where? The spiritual world. It's coming from the spiritual world. It's a chant that can give you peace of mind. So, you get invited in ISKCON temple, you get invited to the ISKCON preaching program. Why do devotees do that? Well, the devotees are compassionate. They know that you can never find happiness through material means. So they want to give you the philosophy so the fortunate may take to this path. When Prabhupada came, there was not a single devotee. Today there are millions of devotees all over the world. Why? And Prabhupada gave us the real message. So this chanting of the holy name is not something new, it's not something concocted, it is authoritative and genuine. And anyone can do it at any time. Lord Chaitanya said, there are no hard and fast rules for chanting the holy name. How many of you in the audience chant the holy name when even one mala? How many of you? So, how many of you chant? There is one not going to have a show of hands. Of course, people shy. How many of you chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra every day, minimum 1 round? Okay. So this chanting is a prayer to the Lord. This is a chant of peace. During the days that when Prabhupada first came to America in '66, at that time America was involved in the Vietnam War, and there was a lot of tension in society. So Prabhupada wrote an article the peace formula. And a lot of people were taking drugs at that time, but now they are. Now except that marijuana and all has got legalized now. So you can openly buy drugs. So proud devotee put up a poster. Chant Hare Krishna and stay high forever. And Prabhupada wrote an article. Chant Hare Krishna as a peace formula. So this chanting of the holy name makes you feel high. Really high. You find true happiness. About a few years ago, I was doing a program in a hall in Russia, and we had rented a hall like we rented this hall here today. And our neighbor, there was another hall where they were having a band playing, dancing, and people getting drunk. The noise of the kirtan from our hall was penetrating into the other hall. And their band was penetrating into our hall. We didn't mind it. So they were very curious. They came inside to see what was happening. They saw devotee jumping in ecstasy and chanting. So they said, you guys are not getting drunk. You're not holding any girl's hand. And so you all are happy. And for us to be happy, you have to get drunk and so on. So that was a fact. If you want real happiness, take to this process. And I'll give you some other good news. You want some good news?
Yes.
You want some good news by which you can save some money? They say money is sweeter than honey. Oh, really? Is that true? Honey is sweet, but they say money is sweeter than honey. How many of you think money is sweeter than honey? Oh, you're so humble. No one's listening at that. How many of you think the holy name is sweeter than honey? Oh, it looks like an assembly of pure devotees. When we asked if money was sweeter than honey, nobody raised their hands. And when we asked, how many of you think the holy name is sweeter than honey? Everyone. That's a good start. So, you want to know how we can save money? I have many devotees who come up to me and say, Maharaj, since we became devotees, our expenses have gone down. I said, why? I knew the answer, but I said, why? He said, now we only go to home to office, office to temple. We don't go to club, we don't play golf, we don't know this. You save a lot of money. And sometimes people say, oh, why didn't you tell me that first? But everyone loves to save money. So look at it from any angle. Practicing Krishna consciousness will only help. Nothing to fear. The only thing you have to fear is wasting this valuable human life. We don't realize after such a long struggle, you've got this human life. So please take to Krishna consciousness. The process is very simple. Take advantage of spiritual association, sadhu-sangha. Chant the holy name. This is not some concoction. You may go to India, you see thousands of acharyas, but they may be giving you mantras, but not necessarily what's genuine. This chanting is genuine. Kali Kale Namarupa Krishna Avatar. In Kali Yuga, Krishna incarnates is the holy name. Parikshit Maharaj inquired, how will people in Kali Yuga be saved? And the reply was, Kali Dosi Nidhi Rajan. Kali Yuga is an ocean of ice. But there is one benediction in this age, and what is that? Chanting the holy name. So this chanting is nothing new. It's very ancient. It's supported by the sages, supported by the scriptures. And now, by Prabhupada's mercy, this message has been taken to every corner of the globe, including Atlanta. To take advantage of it, chant, read the Gita, and associate with devotees, and thereby achieve the goal of life. So thank you very much for coming. I want to leave some time for questions. I was told that the audience has very high IQ. I got a little scared. They said they're going to have a lot of very powerful questions. We'll take on some questions for some time. Is that okay? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Question.
Maharaj, we have a first icebreaker question here.
What's that?
Vanchakalpadarubhyascha kripasindho devacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Kindly accept my respectful
Yeah,
obeisances.
may give me a
Maharaj.
question. Yeah.
Yes. I'm going to ask you a question regarding the last verse of Bhagavad Gita. And I'm very blessed, actually. I just need to mention this one thing, sorry about that. That I do attend classes with Ramgiridhari Das and Prema Manjari Devidasi, who are your initiated disciples, and I'm very blessed because of that. The last verse of Bhagavad Gita, just to save time, I will just read the English translation. Wherever there is Krishna, the master of all mystics, and wherever there is Arjuna, the supreme archer, there will also certainly be opulence, victory, extraordinary power, and morality. And that is my opinion. And that's what you spoke in today's verse about morality, which is, even though we have opulence and everything all around us, morality is lacking, as I'm sure nobody will disagree with that. But if by following Bhagavad Gita, we have morality. But in this verse, the one side of the equation is Krishna, who is most infallible. He's always there to help us. And the other side is the results, like I told, like I just narrated, it's the opulence, it's the morality. Who doesn't want those results? But the expectation is Arjuna. So Arjuna plays a role for us, that how he is a surrendered devotee. And by being so, because of those efforts that he puts in, he gets those results. So in this Kali Yuga, like you mentioned, we are full of falls, and I can speak for myself, I am full of falls. So, and my teacher always tells me that, she mentions the verse 2.41, which is about developing a one-pointed focus. So how do we, Maharaj, from your vast experience, and if you could bless us with a few tips that we can follow to develop that one-pointed focus? Thank you.
Chant regularly and read the Bhagavad Gita regularly. Bhagavad Gita is a book of knowledge. And in Bhagavad Gita is a book of peace. It will give you peace of mind. Do these two things regularly, and that will help you become steady, determined, and stay in devotee association. If we follow the process given by the physician, then there'll be cure. If we don't follow the process, we can't expect results. So chant and read. Not difficult. We're not asking you, you have to give $10,000 every month. We're just telling you to chant and read. It don't cost you a penny. Okay. Good question. We need to clap a little more. Yeah.
Hare Krishna. So my question is, so I'm recently going to be entering the workforce, and you mentioned about like when you're in a job or you work, whatever you do, make that as an offering to Krishna. What are some examples, or how can we make offerings to Krishna for those?
Let's say you're doing a job. Obviously, in exchange for a job, you get a certain salary, unless you're working free. I don't think you're working.
Yeah, it's for a salary.
If you get a certain salary, use some of that to propagate the mission of the Lord. Is that difficult?
No, that's not difficult.
And when you're doing a job, you can keep thinking, I am doing the job for Krishna. Krishna gave me the ability, so now I'm going to serve Krishna. Krishna says, I'm the ability in man. So whatever ability we have, we give great credit to scientists. Every year, you see people getting Nobel Awards. But who has created a brain that gives and that enables them to win the prize? Who?
Krishna.
But no Nobel Prize for Krishna. Prabhupada used to say they should give a Nobel Prize to Krishna every year.
Haribol.
Okay. More questions?
Maharaj, I was wanting to ask, another big tendency we have is to find faults and commit offenses. So I was wanting to know how we can remain free from it.
Find fault finding. We could all write books on fault finding. Is that right?
Yes.
We have to find faults. Of course, if they are faults, they can be detected and presented in a humble manner. What should be avoided is finding fault you do. Envy, jealousy, anger, greed. I don't want to see this guy go ahead. I'm going to spread rumors about it. Prabhupada used to say, try to look at the good in everyone. And when looking at the good in everyone, we'll gain respect for each other. But if there are some faults, and your actions are not motivated by envy, jealousy, they can be presented in a pleasing manner. Okay. Yeah.
Maharaj, do we have the right to judge people? Because we will be judging based on our knowledge.
Well, if you know what the benchmark is, then you can judge people. In other words, we're judging people for what? For the clothes they wear, for the hairstyle, how they act. What are we judging them for?
Judging for the moral behavior. For example, I feel that he should be doing it this way. He's not doing it that way. So, do I have the right to judge?
You have a right. And then if you feel that you have a better way, you can present it to him in a gentle, humble manner. Not in a challenging mood, but in a genuine mood of friendship. Prabhuji, I see you do this way, but this is a better way. Why don't you try it? Yeah? Okay. Yes. Yes.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. When we're trying to preach to new people, we have good intentions. We want to bring them closer to Krishna, but many times it seems like they're not absorbing the good intent with which we are trying to serve them. So how should we deal with them?
Lord Chaitanya said, Jayada Gataya Gao. Wherever you see, tell them about Krishna. So our duty is to give the pure message as it is. If someone takes to it, fine. If someone doesn't take to it, what can we do? But we are following the Lord's order. So from our side, we can try our best. Is that your question? let's say you spend 4 hours preaching and you only end up distributing one book and partially convincing an individual. You may say, why I wasted 4 hours? That's all I got. But the good news is, Krishna will give you credit for all the 4 hours you did. Not just for one book that you did. Devotional service never goes in vain. Yes.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. We are very much blessed to have you here. So may I know, with your years of experience and devotion, for a devotee, what may be the milestones or what may be the signs during the spiritual progress to know if the devotee is progressing or any kind of experience that he will get during the course of...
Very, very good question. One of these positive symptoms. A positive symptom, you're making advancement, is, are you getting attached to the holy name? Is this coming more and more naturally that I should chant the holy name? Am I getting attracted to reading Prabhupada's books? Am I getting attracted to giving up what is detrimental and accepting what is conducive? It's like you say you have high fever. How do you know your fever is coming down? How? By seeing the temperature coming down and the body aches going away, isn't it? So similarly, what you see is the material temperature coming down and the spiritual fever getting high. And with it, then it's okay. Okay. Okay, more questions? Yes, quick. Yeah.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you for a wonderful lecture. My question is regarding community and unity. In any community, it's natural that sometimes people have differences of opinion, they have different directions of where they think that a group as a whole needs to go, and sometimes they feel that their voices don't matter, or they don't get the respect that they deserve, and sometimes they feel frustrated, and many times they get frustrated and just leave the group and just feel like, okay, I'll just do whatever I can on my own and just won't associate with the group anymore. So how do we avoid that? How do we build unity and trust in the community so that people feel like they're part of something whole and their voice matters?
We have to be exemplary in our behavior. We have to practice what we preach. And as I said earlier, look at the good in everyone. And Prabhupada said, your love for me will be shown how we cooperate with each other. So cooperation is mentioned in the scriptures. In the 4th canto, Narada Muni told the Prachetas, I'm very pleased with all of you because all of you have only one occupation, devotional service. So the Lord is pleased when we work in a united manner. Yes.
There is one question.
Yes.
Maharaj, thank you for your wonderful association. I have a question about health issues. As we grow older, we're confronted with
more and more challenges.
More and more challenges. So my question is, what's the best way to deal with the health issues that interfere with our devotional service?
Chennai Pandit said, 3 things you should attend right away. What are they? Death, fire, and disease. So naturally, if you have a health issue, it has to be taken care of. How to take care? Then you have to consult your doctor. But we have to take care. Yeah, okay. Okay. Yes. Okay.
So I started a few years ago on this path very enthusiastically. I'm still following this path, but my question is, how do we stay enthusiastic and hopefully increase?
You'll stay enthusiastic if you keep executing the process. Just like if you're recovering from a disease, or if you want to recover from a disease, you have to keep taking the medicine. If you keep chanting, reading, serving, you'll always be enthusiastic. If you stop, then you may get a relapse. So don't stop. Our sages have told us, don't stop chanting and reading. And keep doing that. And you'll always be blissful, enthusiastic, and happy. Yes.
Maharaj, in the morning you said reading and chanting are very important. And I would add listening to lectures of spiritual teachers also. But how do we practice what we read or what we hear? Because many a times what happens is we hear lectures, we hear everything, and then as soon as we step out, we forget everything. So how can we implement this?
You won't forget it. Just like, let's say you're on a job, you don't forget how to operate the machine. Because, if you forget, you lose your job. So, why should we forget? And what is there to forget? Chanting of the Hare Krishna, you're not going to forget the Mahamantra's word. Isn't it? Main elements of the Gita, you're not going to forget them. But what we may forget, the senses will go out of control. That is the challenge. So Krishna says, with the weapon of knowledge, destroy the illusory energy. So we need to cultivate knowledge on a regular basis, not part-time. Yeah. Are you finished?
Anyone has any question? Dr. Mataji.
You want to finish it now?
Yeah, there's the one last question, Maharaj.
We can take a few more questions.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. My question is, I've read that in a true Vaishnava is both very, very soft and at the same time very hard.
Soft as a rose and hard as a thunderbolt.
So these two qualities, I find that if one gets one, like if in the beginning we get very, very soft, but when the situations want us to be harder, it's difficult to become like that, and vice versa. So how, is it a progression or is it something that comes by time?
Good question.
Or
Prabhupada was giving a lecture in Rishikesh. This was, I believe, in 77. And Prabhupada, as you know, he used to speak very boldly, like a lion. And sometimes he would use some heavy words, like fool. So there was one American lady in the audience. She said, Swami should not speak so harshly. Prabhupada said, when you have a boil with pus in it, do you blow over that boil or press the boil to get the pus out? She said, press the boil to get the pus out. So sometimes you can speak like a thunderbolt, and sometimes it can be as soft as a rose, depending upon the situation. Lamb at home, lion outside. And sometimes you become a lion at home. So, okay, any more questions? Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Maharaj.
My question is, I regard myself being spiritual from childhood, but I have one conflict to understand. I know Lord Krishna's name and this mantra is also supreme, but I am yet to explain, or somebody asked me question. We have grown with Hindu culture and Lord Shiva, Lord Goddess Durga or Ganesha, Lord different gods are there with different powers or that. So how to convince ourselves or even others that only chanting is only the way and we can stop the worshipping of other goddesses, or how you can direct us?
This is not our conclusion. The chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra is a prime medium. This is the conclusion of the scriptures. We are just as postmen giving you the message. It is in the Shastra that if you worship Krishna, you automatically discharge your obligation to the demigods, just like when you pour water on the root of the tree, the branches are also nourished. So this is not our conclusion. This is not ISKCON's philosophy. This is the conclusion of the Shastras. We were all born in ignorance, and we usually live in ignorance. But some of us are fortunate, they get exposed to the real message. So read the Bhagavad Gita, and you get the answers there. Okay, any more? Yes. Yes, sir.
Hare Krishna. I'd like to thank my parents for giving me the opportunity to be in your presence today and hear you and listen to you. My question is with respect to doing your job and presenting it as an offering to God, right, or Krishna. I know many people personally who do their prescribed duty to the utmost in a possible way and with pure love and affection. But what I feel is what is missing in whatever they do is the final aspect of recognizing it that they are actually offering it to God, right? So the question is that something negative, or is the fact that they do their job so well that it's implied that that last aspect of this whole spectrum is happening?
I'm not very clear on your question.
The question is, I know many people who do their prescribed duty well, but the last aspect of recognizing the fact that...
Okay, but part of the prescribed duty we do should be I'm serving God in my efforts, not just a verbal statement. Yes, everything belongs to God, everything is in my possession. We have to physically demonstrate that I got this education, I'm using the results to please Krishna. I have this skill, I'm using it to present to the world that God exists. There must be some practical execution of the philosophy. Then it is certain. Otherwise you meet all the Hindus in India who say, yes, everything I have belongs to God, but the checkbook is in my control. So that doesn't have much value. We have to practically demonstrate this skill of mine, this ability of mine is being used to serve God.
Thank you.
No, kind of aliens, and basically, like, definitely they won't be openly like showing their resentment, but on a subtle level they will try to ignore things, ignore us, and they will kind of show us like no, that we are not in their group, like no, we don't. so Maharaj, like definitely like for us that's a challenge, but then our younger generation has the same thing. They go to school, like no, they interact with the outside world. So what's your suggestion, like for us as well as the younger generation within our movement, like how we can handle those situations where we are kind of...
Okay, I understand.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Prabhupada once gave a lecture. The name of the lecture was, "Who is crazy?" In which Prabhupada analyzed two groups of individuals. One who practiced Krishna consciousness and they say, "Hey, those material karmis, they're all crazy." And the other group thinks, the Hare Krishnas are crazy. Instead of joining us in the clubs, we go to the temple and all. So one thinks the other group is crazy. The Prabhupada proves that the one who doesn't take this spirituality is actually crazy. So there will always be people who say, will treat you as foreigners, outcasts. You don't belong to the modern society. But we have to tolerate it and preach. And by preaching, they will see that they are the outcasts and they need to change. Mother, you want to say a few words? Please.
Hare Krishna. I just actually had somewhat of a question / maybe a discussion, meaning that we talk a lot about strategies for preaching Krishna consciousness or having a strategy for preaching Krishna consciousness. And we see more and more the diversity of our society. It's all types of persons, backgrounds, races, ethnicities.
Unity in diversity.
Yeah. So in our preaching strategy, should we target specifically like this group of people or that group of people, or should we have a strategy that's so all-encompassing, broad-minded, that it can attract all levels of people?
Naturally, our goal is to reach as many people as we can. We would like to target the entire state of Georgia.
Yes.
We should try our best.
You quoted before, I think Maharaj maybe quoted last night, Lord Chaitanya saying, Yare Tata, Tare Krishna Upadesh.
Tell everyone to.
So go door to door, meaning to every person we meet.
Without discrimination.
Without discrimination, to give them Krishna.
There are devotees in North America who do jobs like most people do assembled in this room, who also go out regularly and do books. In San Jose Temple, they also do this. And they do it other places also. So everyone can preach. Maximum is to say, get out. They won't do anything more than that. But we should all try to preach.
I heard about your preaching today on your walk this morning in Piedmont Park. If you can maybe share a little bit about that. I saw the photograph.
Well, I was walking and there was a yoga group going on there. They called me in to give a talk. I gave them a 5-minute talk and told them what is real yoga. And they all agreed. And we invited them to the temple tomorrow. Let's see if they'll come. There are opportunities to preach everywhere. It just depends upon the mood of the preacher. So thank you very much. Please take the Krishna consciousness seriously. Hare Krishna.